Kina je ovih dana u centru pažnje svetske javnosti i zbog najveće vojne parade u svojoj istoriji. Peking svakako želi da demonstrira snagu i prikaže svoju vojsku, sposobnu da parira svakoj, pa čak i američkoj. Analitičari su pomno pratili paradu i vidjeli je kao svojevrstan izazov Zapadu. Kako u Vašingtonu gledaju na paradu u Pekingu? O tome izveštava naš Ognjen Medić.
U glavnom gradu Narodne Republike Kine, Pekingu, održana je jedna od do sada najvećih vojnih parada. Na njoj su prisustvovali mnogobrojni svetski, ali i evropski lideri. Predsjednik Narodne Republike Kine, Xi Jinping, pozvao je Vladimira Putina, predsjednika Ruske federacije, ali i predsjednika Kim Jong-una. Ovog puta na paradi nisu prisustvovale zvanice iz Sjedinjenih Američkih Država. U Vašingtonu se na ovaj događaj gledalo nekako sa podeljenim mišljenjima. Jedino što je Donald Trump, predsjednik Amerike, izjavio jeste da ga je uvredilo što se nije pominjalo zapravo na paradi koliko su Sjedinjene Američke Države doprinele pobedi u Drugom svetskom ratu. A kako se iz Vašingtona zapravo gleda na sve ovo i kakve su prve reakcije, razgovaram sa Berijem Donadijom, koji je bivši agent tajne službe, vojni veteran, stručnjak za vojsku, ali i politički analitičar. Hello, Beri, thank you for speaking for Newsmax Balkans. We will attend with our first question. As a major military parade is taking place in Beijing, China, to mark the end of World War II. With several wonder leaders in attendance, but we don't see the Americans down there. We don't see no one from the United States. What is your opinion about that, and why American officials didn't attend?
Although the United States wishes China the best, it is a communist military. You don't usually see U.S. officials at a military parade for a communist nation. Usually communism is associated with oppression, so you won't see President Trump there, you won't see a U.S. congressman there. However, there was one member of NATO there, Slovenia, and I think that was just simply to be a kind gesture, and they have a special relationship with China. So it was more like Slovenia and even Serbia. Your president was there as well. And I think they were doing this as a kind gesture to accept an invitation from China, and I don't think it was anything more than that.
Okay, and according to the media reports, President Trump was invited, but he didn't attend. What do you think may be the reason behind that?
For the stated reasons I said, it basically the Republican Party itself might be in up in arms if the President of the United States went to a communist military parade celebrating the end of World War II or celebrating anything else. You won't find him at the military parade of North Korea either. So typically U.S. presidents have stayed very far away from that. However, it doesn't mean that we don't wish the best for the people of China or even the people of North Korea, but politically speaking, we would keep our distance from that.
The official sentence from the White House is that events like this are meant to showcase power and propaganda. What do you mean about that?
Well, what we see China do is they put their military force on proud display, and it's basically telling the world, hey, don't mess with us, or we're going to send these guys at you. I will give credit to the Chinese military. They have come a long way. They're a disciplined and professional military. There's not any analyst in the world that would say otherwise. And they certainly march very, very good, but that's not what win wars. I'll have to remind them that, there's other four sets of fighting and winning a war other than good marching and a very wonderful ceremony. At times, I wasn't sure if I was watching a Broadway play, it was so theatrical, or a military parade. But I will hand it to President Xi. He did an excellent job at turning it into a positive event, drawing in potential new allies and making it very non-militaristic for a military parade, playing music that was theatrical and happy and positive, almost like a fairy tale. Mm-hmm. It was quite interesting to watch, and not something I've seen come from China.
And another one question is, do you think there is a concern here in Washington, D.C. that China is using this strength and its influence behind the bloc against the U.S.?
I think so. They are using BRICS as an alternate form to the dollar. I don't know why anybody would do that. I don't know why any country would choose to go and have China as an alternative to the United States when if they want freedom, they will be with the United States. Once you lock arms with China, you run the potential of maybe not having your sovereignty anymore. It was closed to the public. So who were all those people? They were controlled people, or maybe controlled robots of the government itself. And although, again, a very good propaganda piece and expertly done, a masterpiece, but I would caution nations or anybody to think that if they go to the honey of China that they're leaving, that it is going to end up good for them. China will be friendly and kind as long as China gets what it wants. When it doesn't get what it wants, they become hostile.
Yeah, and one more question. As someone familiar with how politics and military strategy playing out of the participants, do you think that the next steps for U.S. might be, will Washington ramp up its rhetoric or stick mainly to diplomatic statements?
I think they've already ramped up the rhetoric. That's President Trump on his Truth Social. We saw that. I do take that seriously. Some other news agencies have said, "Oh, that's just Donald Trump joking around." Maybe a little bit of joking around, but in the reality, this is China trying to get allies, trying to get the former Soviet republics back under the Soviet Union with Vladimir Putin. There's no reason to be fighting. I think if we would think the way Trump thinks, why would we be fighting when we can be making money and living in prosperity and sustainable peace?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah. Bio je to Beri Donadio, bivši član tajne službe Sjedinjenih Američkih Država. Komentarisali smo trenutnu situaciju i kako se to iz Vašingtona zapravo gleda na veliku vojnu paradu u Pekingu. Iz Vašingtona za Newsmax Balkans, Ognjenom Medićem.